There is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love, there is no love but God's and yours and mine and everyone's. There is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today and studying A Course in Miracles here on Monday, May the 6th of 2024. We're reading from the edition published by Foundation for Inner Peace. Lesson 127, There is no love but God's. And I mentioned yesterday, you wanted us to every 20 minutes today, 3 times an hour, think of someone and say this to them. In your mind, you could say it out loud too, I suppose, but tell yourself, I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's and yours and mine and everyone's. There is no love but God's. Perhaps you, and I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, sitting out here in my, let's see what we got, a little bit of, I don't know if you can even see that over there. Anyway, I've got some lettuces and some Swiss chard, some onions, and just sitting out here in my garden. There is no love but God's. Perhaps you think that different kinds of love are possible. Perhaps you think there is a kind of love for this, a kind for that, a way of loving one, another way of loving still another. Love is one. It has no separate parts and no degrees, no kinds, nor levels, no divergencies, and no distinctions. It is like itself, unchanged throughout. It never alters with a person or a circumstance. It is the heart of God and also of His Son. Love's meaning is obscure to anyone who thinks that love can change. He does not see that changing love must be impossible, and thus he thinks that he can love at times and hate at other times. He also thinks that love can be bestowed on one and yet remain itself, although it is withheld from others. To believe these things of love is not to understand it. If it could make such distinctions, it would have to judge between the righteous and the sinner, and perceive the Son of God in separate parts. Love cannot judge. As it is one itself, it looks on all as one. As it is one itself, it looks on all as one. Its meaning lies in oneness, and it must elude the mind that thinks of it as partial or in part. There is no love but God's, and all of love is His. There is no other principle that rules where love is not. Love is a law without an opposite. Its wholeness is the power holding everything as one. Love's power holds everything as one, the glue that connects us all. The link between the Father and the Son, which holds them both forever as the same. Again on that sentence. Speaking of love, its wholeness is the power holding everything as one. The link between the Father and the Son, which holds them both forever as the same. No course whose purpose is to teach you to remember what you really are could fail to emphasize that there can never be a difference in what you really are and what love is, because we're love beings. Love's meaning is your own and shared by God Himself. For what you are is what He is. There is no love but His, and what He is everything there is. There is no limit placed upon Himself, and so are you unlimited as well. No law the world obeys can help you grasp love's meaning. No law the world obeys can help you grasp love's meaning. What the world believes was made to hide love's meaning and to keep it dark and secret. There is not one principle the world upholds but violates the truth of what love is and what you are as well. Seek not within the world to find yourself. Love is not found in darkness and in death, yet it is perfectly apparent to the eyes that see and ears that hear love's voice. Today we practice making free your mind of all the laws you think you must obey, of all the limits under which you live and all the changes that you think are part of human destiny. Today we take the largest single step this course requests in your advance toward its established goal. Today we take the largest single step this course requests in your advance towards its established goal. Very important what we're learning today. He says it's the largest step we'll make. There is no love but God's. If you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, you have advanced in distance without measure and in time beyond the count of years to your release. Let us together then be glad to give some time to God today and understand there is no better use for time than this. For 15 minutes twice today, escape from every law in which you now believe. For 15 minutes twice today, escape from every law in which you now believe. Open your mind and rest. Open your mind and rest. The world that seems to hold you prisoner can be escaped by anyone who does not hold it dear. Wow, we just don't want to value the world, and we can free ourselves from those limited ways of thinking. Withdraw all value you have placed upon its meager offerings and senseless gifts, and let the gift of God replace them all. Call to your Father, certain that His voice will answer. He Himself has promised this, and He Himself will place a spark of truth within your mind wherever you give up a false belief, a dark illusion of your own reality and of what love means. He will shine through your idle thoughts today and help you understand the truth of love. In loving gentleness, He will abide with you as you allow His voice to teach love's meaning to your clean and open mind. And He will bless the lesson with His love. And He will bless the lesson with His love. Today, the legion of the future years of waiting for salvation disappears before the timelessness of what you learn. Let us give thanks today that we are spared a future like the past. Today we leave the past behind us, never more to be remembered, and we raise our eyes upon a different present, where a future dawns unlike the past in every attribute. The world in infancy is newly born, and we will watch it grow in health and strength to shed its blessing upon all who come to learn to cast aside the world they thought was made in hate to be love's enemy. Now are they all made free along with us. Now are they all our brothers in God's love. Now are they all our brothers in God's love. We will remember them throughout the day because we cannot leave a part of us outside our love if we would know ourself. At least 3 times an hour, think of one who makes the journey with you and who came to learn what you must learn. And as he comes to mind, give him this message from yourself. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, for I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours, and mine, and everyone's. Write that on a card if you don't have it down to your memory. And do the best you can throughout the day, 3 times an hour, he says. Think of those people that are traveling this journey with you, people in the world, people in bodies. It could be people without bodies, actually. They're traveling the journey with you, too, ones that have already crossed over. And just give them all a thought and tell them as you think of them. Every 20 minutes today, tell yourself, I bless you, whoever it is you're thinking about, with the love of God, which I would share with you, for I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours and mine and everyone's. Okay, let's go back and look at our text reading. And we are ready in chapter 14, Teaching for Truth, section Roman numeral 7, Sharing Perception with the Holy Spirit. While you're turning there, what all's going around the world today, from holidays and observances: Great Lakes Awareness Day, International No Diet Day, Joseph Brackett Day, Melanoma Monday, National Beverage Day, National Crepes Suzette Day, National Meeting Planner Appreciation Day, National Nurses Day or RN Recognition Day, National Tourist Appreciation Day, No Homework Day, Orthodox Easter Monday. Easter Monday, the day after Easter for the Greek Orthodox folks. And a word for peace I'm taking from Bosnia, and it's the same as the word in Russian, and it's mir. So, and then in our edible landscaping, we've got the Stayman Winesap apple, which is a Malus domestica. Stayman winesap trees can flourish without care. Examples of older trees in our area that are uncared for still produce usable fruit. Usually they go into alternate bearing and produce heavy crops every other year when not cared for. Trees are resistant like Arkansas black apple. The fruit can be very large. They ripen early fall and can soften quickly at room temperature, but will keep in the refrigerator for about 6 weeks. Flavor is tart mild with a crisp texture and very good eating. Excellent taste for juicing and cider blends. It is a favorite roadside market apple in Virginia. Developed in 1866 from Leavenworth, Kansas, Stayman does not pollinate other apples, so it's a good trio tree, with 2 different varieties planted nearby. Zones 5 through 8 needs 800 chill hours. Okay, there's your Stayman Winesap. And then out of Permaculture for Beginners, we're in the last chapter, chapter 8, which is creating a composting system. And we're looking at this next section is sheet composting. Already described in chapter 7, where we laid the layers down, using mulch, where mulch is left on the surface of the garden to decompose and not disturb the complex structure of the undisturbed garden soil below. Add layers of mulch, such as straw, fallen leaves, wood chips, etc., as needed to decompose in place. And that's called sheet composting. I like to throw all my weeds in my paths and just walking on them, and they'll, decompose. Okay, sharing perception with the Holy Spirit. And of course, our largest step we're going to make, or that we have made, is our lesson for today. So let's think about it. Think of some brother or sister who takes the journey with you and say to them, I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours and mine and everyone's. One love. Sharing perception with the Holy Spirit. What do you want? Light or darkness, knowledge or ignorance are yours, but not both. Opposites must be brought together, not kept apart. For their separation is only in your mind, and they are reconciled by union, as you are. In union, everything that is not real must disappear, for truth is union. As darkness disappears in light, so ignorance fades away when knowledge dawns. Perception is the medium by which ignorance is brought to knowledge, yet the perception must be without deceit, for otherwise it becomes the messenger of ignorance rather than a helper in the search for truth. Paragraph 2. The search for truth is but the honest searching out of everything that interferes with truth. Truth is. It can neither be lost nor sought nor found. It is there wherever you are, and being within you. Truth is there wherever you are, being within you. Yet it can be recognized or unrecognized, real or false, to you. If you hide it, it becomes unreal to you because you hid it and surrounded it with fear. Under each cornerstone of fear on which you have erected your insane system of belief, the truth lies hidden. Yet you cannot know this, for by hiding truth in fear, you see no reason to believe that the more you look at fear, the less you see it, and the clearer what it conceals becomes. Paragraph 3. It is not possible to convince the unknowing that they know. From their point of view, it is not true. Yet it is true because God knows it. These are clearly opposite viewpoints on what the unknowing are. To God, unknowing is impossible. It is therefore not a point of view at all, but merely a belief in something that does not exist. Oh my, having beliefs that do not, in something that does not exist. It is only this belief that the unknowing have, and by it they are wrong about themselves. They have defined themselves as they were not created. Their creation was not a point of view, but rather a certainty. Uncertainty brought to certainty does not retain any conviction of reality. Our emphasis, paragraph 4, our emphasis has been on bringing what is undesirable to the desirable, what you do not want to what you do want. You will realize that salvation must come to you this way if you consider what dissociation is. Dissociation is a distorted process of thinking whereby two systems of belief which cannot coexist are both maintained. If they are brought together, their joint acceptance becomes impossible. But if one is kept in darkness from the other, their separation seems to keep... Oh my. I don't know what just happened. Something fell on my guitar or my dog. Dissociation is a distorted process of thinking whereby two systems of belief which cannot coexist are both maintained. If they are brought together, their joint acceptance becomes impossible. But if one is kept in darkness from the other, their separation seems to keep them both alive and equal in their reality. Their joining thus becomes the source of fear. For if they meet, acceptance must be withdrawn from one of them. You cannot have them both, for each denies the other. Apart, this fact is lost from sight, for each in a separate place can be endowed with firm belief. Bring them together, and the fact of their complete incompatibility is instantly apparent. One will go because the other is seen in the same place. Paragraph 5. So he's just talking about you can maintain two opposing beliefs if you keep them separate in your mind. Don't think about it. Don't meditate, for sure. Don't be still and quiet and let thoughts come to you, because you might get a thought that opposes reality. Well, let those thoughts come, because we want light to displace darkness, or truth to replace ignorance. Paragraph 8. Light cannot enter darkness when a mind believes in darkness and will not let it go. Truth does not struggle against ignorance, and love does not attack fear. What needs no protection does not defend itself. Defense is of your making. God knows it not. The Holy Spirit uses defenses on behalf of truth only because you made them against it. His perception of them, according to his purpose, merely changes them into a call for what you have attacked with them. Defenses, like everything you made, must be gently turned to your own good, translated by the Holy Spirit for means of self-destruction to means of preservation and release. His task is mighty, but the power of God is with him. Therefore to him it is so easy that it was accomplished the instant it was given him for you. Oh, the power of the Holy Spirit. Do not delay in your return to peace by wondering how he can fulfill what God has given him to do. Leave that to him who knows. You're not asked to do mighty tasks yourself. You're merely asked to do the little he suggests you do. You're merely asked to do the little he suggests you do, trusting him only to the small extent of believing that if he asks it, you can do it. You will see how easily all that he asks can be accomplished. Wow, just follow the Holy Spirit's guidance in those little things every day. The cutting edge. Just look at those little things and make it a habit to listen to the Holy Spirit. He does the great work. You do the simple work of being willing to follow his guidance. The small, still voice within, the voice of love. Paragraph 6, the Holy Spirit asks of you but this: bring to him every secret you have locked away from him. Open every door to him and bid him enter the darkness and lighten it away. At your request he enters gladly. He brings the light to darkness if you make the darkness open to him. But what you hide he cannot look upon. He sees for you, and unless you look with him, he cannot see. He sees for you, and unless you look with him, he cannot see. The vision of Christ is not for him alone, but for him with you. Bring therefore all your dark and secret thoughts to him, and look upon them with him. He holds the light, and you the darkness. They cannot coexist when both of you together look on them. His judgment must prevail, and he will give it to you as you join your perception to his. And the last paragraph finishes this section, 7. Joining with him and seeing is the way in which you learn to share with him the interpretation of perception that leads to knowledge. You cannot see alone. Sharing perception with him whom God has given you teaches you how to recognize what you see. It is the recognition that nothing you see means anything alone. Seeing with him will show you that all meaning, including yours, comes not from double vision, but from the gentle fusing of everything into one meaning, one emotion, and one purpose. There is no love but God's, the oneness of love. God has one purpose which he shares with you. The single vision which the Holy Spirit offers you will bring this oneness to your mind with clarity and brightness so intense you could not wish for all the world not to accept what God would have you have. Behold your will, accepting it as his, with all his love as yours. Behold your will, accepting it as his, with all his love as yours. All honor to you through him, and through him unto God. All honor to you through him, and through him unto God. Wow, that one sentence, behold your will, accepting it as God's will, with all his love as yours. Okay, well, you be sure to do your 2 15-minute longer practice periods. And then throughout the day, 3 times an hour, think of those traveling with you in a body or without, and say, there is no love but God's. And specifically, I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours and mine and everyone's. There is no love but God's. 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 There is no love. love but God's. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love, that there is no love but God's, and yours and mine, and everyone's. There is no love but God's. 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 I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there's no love but God's, and yours and mine and everyone's. There is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love, there is no love but God's, and yours and mine, and everyone. There is no love but God's. 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 I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, which I would share with you. For I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love, there is no love but God's, and yours and mine, and everyone's. There is no love but God's. 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 Bob-a-nom, cave-a-lom. There is no love but God's, and it's everywhere. There is no love but God's. Mere